All right, let's get talking on the second conversation that we have this morning, everyone. The political space just continues to evolve, especially in light of the 2027 general election. Every other day, it is one, political bigwig talking about some of these issues, or some other, critical stakeholder trying to make certain points, if you like, just establish narratives around what the political parties are doing. And for the ruling party, it has insisted that the coalition has nothing on it as it has to do with the 2027 presidential election in particular. The coalition and the entire opposition front now says that the goal ultimately is to unseat President Tinubu come 2027. How it tends to do that, it's yet to be made clear to Nigerians, but it will appear that this conversation has become a daily norm, even though INEC is now warning against early campaigns in this regard. To have this conversation about the political landscape in Nigeria as it stands today and going forward, I'm joined by Honorable Umar Bello Jada, Assistant National Organizing Secretary and Zonal Organizing Secretary of the ADC Northeast Zone. It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
Great. I'd like us to begin with where we are today in Nigeria. Of course, I know opposition hardly sees anything commendable with the ruling party. But when you look at the APC today, really, even though we know, yes, there are those who are falling out of this government, even some who have formally resigned their membership of the party and moved to the other side, whatever that means. What's your sincere assessment of this government under Tinubu?
Well, thank you very much for giving me this great opportunity. First of all, you see, every political party have a manifesto.
Right.
And the candidate at any level, more especially the presidential candidate, has his own vision and mission of why he's contesting. Because if he become a president, eventually, what he intend to achieve. Like all other aspirants who become candidate and eventually win, Tinubu has promised Nigerians. And first of all, Nigerian believe he's a man of constitutionality. Because he's always opposed to dictatorship under whatever guise. Right from the time of the military dictatorship. He has been fighting dictatorship. He has been struggling for democracy. So we believe him when he was saying that he will give Nigerians the best the democratic principle can give people. And he's going to run an all-inclusive government. He's going to run a progressive government that will protect the sanctity of our constitution, give Nigerians liberty, make sure no Nigerians is victimized or undermined because of his race, religion, or his zonal or his state of religion, so on and so forth. And he promised to make life easy for Nigerians. He was against the increment of fuel price in Nigeria for over 30 years. He was against removal of subsidy under successive governments. He was against government clamping down on media organizations, on journalists,
dissenting
voices. He was always against or supporting the people to rise up against the government. He was leading protests and so on and so forth against successive government. But this is the same Tinubu. You can see. If he has done something that will say, yes, this man has promised us this and that. At least on this level, he has succeeded in fulfilling his promises. And from the other side, yes, he has his own problems.
Right.
He couldn't achieve what he wanted to achieve. Maybe out of deliberate act, or maybe because of the level of the situation we found on ground. Maybe people will start to think whether if we can give him another chance to try again. But look at the promises he's made. Now, there is no government that is against constitutional government, like Tinubu government. The judiciary completely hoodwinked to the extent that they cannot act or say anything without the approval of the government. For example, the Supreme Court, through the federal government case which they file against governors, that local government funds should go directly to the local government chairman.
Right.
So that these resources should go directly to the people that are meant for, to alleviate poverty at the grassroots level, which was a very welcome development. People were hailing him that he is going to reduce the cost of this insecurity, because the cost of most of this 8% is about poverty. And because the governors have taken over the resources from the grassroots level, from the local government where it needed most, to the center, and move it to Abuja, and maybe finally move them abroad.
Right. We
think the chairman, even if they are going to do something, the highest they can move those little money that they will steal is from the local government to the headquarters in their various capitals, which is still within the state. After more than 8 months judgment, after the Supreme Court insisted that no local government should be given a penny, except if there is elected leadership there. After the election, they must have their account with the CBN, so that the CBN will directly send money to them. The governor rushed to conduct elections to make sure all the chairmen of council in Nigeria are elected chairmen. What happens from that day? The president and the presidency went in to deal with the governors. Why? He needed their support in 2027. What? The Nigerians did not vote him to come and contest for 2027. They vote for him as president to come and solve the problems of the previous government. The problem Nigerians are in. He should come and right the wrong. For 4 years, that was the mandate. It's for 4 years. Let him deliver the 4 years, and Nigeria will now consider whether he is trustworthy or is good enough to proceed. But how can you go in to deal with the governors? And you say Attorney General, who is a seasoned lawyer, a son for that matter, to come and play nonsense on the intelligence of Nigerians by telling them that we are under making arrangement, we are trying to make administrative this, he is manipulating the English, the legal terms, manipulating people. Which type of, where are the procedures? When you say the governors should have elected people for chairman and councillors before a particular date, you force the governors to conduct elections.
Are you insinuating with your narrative that President Tinubu is putting his personal interest before national interest?
Yes. If I were him, I wouldn't have in the first place initiated that case. If he has it, if he that initiative of the case was in good intention, but eventually, when he compared the consequences of that action, he doesn't have confidence in the poor masses across the nation who may be happy and feel obliged to support him. He feared the governors more, thinking that the governors are in control of states. So they now come forward and tell him, look, you are having challenges. If you want our support, we are going to support you, but on condition. We won't accept the implementation of this local government autonomy. And so it goes under the drain, the water. No local government is in a penny. The local government receives about 600 million, 500 million, 480 million monthly. Each other local government in Adamawa State. After paying their salaries from the state, the state pays the local government staff salaries from the center. And the maximum amount they will give to my chairman cannot run the local government for 7 days. 600 million in my locality will have solved about 20% of the poverty related matters in the local government. And if that continues for a year, with these funds, we are having billions in my local government. This issue of kidnapping, all this issue of burglary, youth unemployment that went to it will have been over. But people are frustrated, they have no job. You see one, a total failure from the government. Number two, the issue of this Rivers State government. The same Supreme Court. This is an issue of national importance. It's a serious constitutional crisis, serious constitutional matter. How do you understand me? When the the president declared state of emergency, it was wrong. All the legal luminaries in Nigeria are unanimous. I did not see one single lawyer in this country that accept or approve of state of emergency in Rivers State. As far as I'm concerned, on record, I didn't see it. Tinubu and his government still went ahead and declared state of emergency. And the law says, even if it is illegal, even if it is something that is done illegally, it needs some element of legitimacy. So that is why when you declare the state of emergency, you have to take the matter to the National Assembly.
So do you think that action was, like some people have said, an act of executive rascality?
Yes, exactly. Undermining the sanctity of the Constitution, he swore to offend. He struggled for more than 30 years to protect. The same him now come to undermine the same Constitution. So, on getting to the House of National Assembly, the law says if they need to approve of this under this circumstance, there must be a two-third vote. A two-third vote for even elementary students. Know what a two-third vote?
Right.
When Obasanjo, a military general, was elected president, when the issue of Tartan was being floated, they went to the National Assembly.
Right.
They were looking for two-third. They didn't use no to say the Constitution has been amended. They allowed the legislatures against the will and the interest of the federal government and the government as of that day. They have to count every honorable member that is seated. The senators and the
head counts.
Head counts were done. Numbers were confirmed. Each and every person voted. The vote was counted in public, and they know have it. And there was no tata. And the level is not fair.
Right.
But on that level, the person that is said is a custodian of democratic struggle. You call it Afenifere, you call it Nadeko, you call it progressive, this and that, Awolo, this and that.
Save Nigeria Group.
Haba. Same person using the National Assembly, holding them by the neck, that they must confront this. They went to the Senate, the National Assembly, they couldn't get the quorum. Even the quorum to the June City, because members insisted head count should be taken.
Right.
They say no. The speaker insists that as they are voting will be counted. Is that what the law says? They passed the two-third based on nay. Even when the voice was saying nay, they said yes have it. That's done. The state of emergency was declared. You see, from the executive, the illegal action. Then the PDP governors now rush to the Supreme Court. What is the last hope of the poor man? Is their responsibility to tell to match break for reckless leadership in a country? Supreme Court is the supreme authority in the country.
Right.
Because of the fear of this government, that if they take this case, there will be consequences against them. Maybe they have something to hide the Supreme Court judges. Maybe they have something, a skeleton in their cupboard. Only God knows. They keep this case despite the urgency for Nigerians to know the determination of this case. What did the law says? It's not about Fubara. It's not about Rivers State. It's about Nigeria as a nation. It could be Zamfara tomorrow. It could be Lagos next tomorrow. You understand? Now, the Supreme Court keeps moved. Like if nothing happens in this country. Until the 6 months expires. No Supreme Court judge feel worthy to mention this case, even for once. As far as they're concerned, nothing happens. What I say, are we in democratic government? Because they are supposed to be 3 tiers of government.
That's right.
The legislatures, executive, and the judiciary. Each arm supposed to be independent of one another. Why is the judiciary so much afraid of the executive, mean that they cannot take up against the when the federal government sued the state, the Supreme Court were rushing the case to determine yes, this and that. But when it is the turn of the state government that they now sue the federal government, the Supreme Court keep mute.
But how did we get to this point where everybody is now saying that the legislature and the judiciary have both been compromised by the executive?
Because of the nature of the leadership we have.
But did this start with the Tinubu government?
Yes. There is no government. I told you, even under Obasanjo, who was once a military dictator, he couldn't achieve this under his government. You can see under Buhari, who is also a military general.
Right.
So many of cases of government were being overturned. Buhari will remove person, they will go to the court will return the person. They instead the person, pay him his damages. They will take ASU will go to court. All people will go to court against the government and they get judgment. But under this government, they will not even take up the matter completely. So if you are being arrested and put in a court, you will remain there forever. Not because of anything,
right?
Because that is the position of the leader of Nigeria today, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is the chief supremo of Nigeria. He's in charge of the legislature. He makes the laws for them. Their own is to rubber stamp whatever he sent to them. He decides who win case at any level of the court, whether Federal High Court, whether at the Appeal Court, or the can you imagine an opposition governor going to court against an APC governor, winning his case, and the next day not saying thank you the judiciary for protecting the right of the masses, for confirming the votes of the masses. Say thank you, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for not allowing us to be removed. This, your fairness is this. Was he the judge? Were he there? Did they seek his advice during the judgment? Why did they thank him? Why did they need to? What was the reason behind saying thank you to Tinubu for winning your court case?
Is it because of these issues you have enumerated that the coalition is now saying that President Bola Tinubu must not return in 2027?
That's a part of this. Just minor part of the problem. The most principal issues is the level of poverty in Nigeria is damn too high that only Nigeria in the whole of this world will survive this kind of poverty level. Only Nigeria. You know, the reason is simple. Every Nigerian, whether it's a Muslim or a Christian or a pagan, only in this country you can see they take their religion seriously. In the whole of this world, only in Nigeria people take religion seriously. And when you go by religion books, anything that happens to you, good or bad, you'll fight back to your destiny, your fate. You understand? Because that's what the Almighty laws is saying on whether it's in Bible or in Quran, that you should not look upon somebody to say he's the reason for why I'm in poverty, for the reason why I did not go to school, for the reason why I am sick. You believe everything is from God. That is the main reason why Nigeria is still standing today. You understand? People resign to faith. Ordinarily, they will be in Nigeria by today. I'm telling you this because 70% of Nigerians today cannot afford a 3 square meal. 50% of Nigerians, I'm telling you, cannot afford 2 square meal in 2 days. There are about 30% Nigerians that they always forget when last they eat.
And we have to blame all of this on the Tinubu government.
Yes, for 3 reasons. Number 1, farm implements are not available. Subsidy has been removed even on farm implements, fertilizer, and so on and so forth. And scarcity was created. The government did not provide them even when you remove the scarcity, like this petrol. When you remove the scarcity, at least, thank God, we have Dangote. He now came, now we are, at least the availability of the product is there. If you don't have money, that's all, but if you have money, the petrol is there. Without Dangote, Nigeria will be buying fuel at 3,000 naira per liter today. I'm telling you this. But we don't have the same alternative.
Right.
In terms of fertilizer, farm implement like machineries and so on. Nobody is producing it in Nigeria. So the government has the responsibility to import those things. Even if they will sell it at a cost with the price, the cost of price that they will make profit, it doesn't matter. Let it be there. You can't have it even if you want to buy it. 1 bag of fertilizer will buy you 3 bags of maize in my local government. In my state, you have to sell 3 bags of rice to buy 1 bag of fertilizer. How can you farm? That is one. Number 2, high level of insecurity. If you manage to get fertilizer, or you are using local fertilizer, whatever that you think you can manage to get to go to your farm, you cannot go to the farm itself. Insecurity. On getting to the farm, they will just pick you up. Somebody who is a farmer with a hoe, fighting for his life in a bush, somebody will just come and pick him and say, okay, we need 10 million, we need 50 million, we need, or somebody that the entire family, their entire family doesn't have 1 million naira. They don't want, they'll end up killing him. So nobody want to go to the farm. Now, for those that want to farm, no implement. Those that will take the risk to go, they will kidnap them or kill them. To farmer headers fighting and so on and so forth. This is another thing. Number 3, the worst of the matter is the budget trillions of naira. The people and the masses are hearing on radio. Federal government budget so trillion for Nigeria. This for health, this for education, this is for this, this is for this. After almost today, we are in September ending. None of those budgets that were mentioned, the monies were appropriated. Nigerians are hearing that every day billions of dollars have been applied as a loan, and the National Assembly approved. The government is getting that money, but yet 1% of the 2025 budget are not been implemented. No capital budget, no capital aspect of the budget has been financed. 1 million naira is not spent on the capital budget. The middle class in every country is those people that we see them like in this our country, because we don't have entrepreneurs and inventors. We only have major contractors who hobnob with government functionaries. They are the middle class in this country, and they are the one that at least the employers of labor. Right. Now, those people were given jobs. Most of them went to the bank to collect loan to finance this project at a very high rate, thinking that on completion they'll get their job. Some people complete their jobs January, some people February, some people March, April, May. None of them get a penny. As of today, 70% of these contractors, they cannot pay even their children's school fees. You know, September. Right. It's the most dangerous of every month for every family. Most of these contractors, their children, those that their children are studying abroad, they have to defer their studies and come back to this country. Those that are studying in Nigerian universities that are private, they still cannot afford it. The children are sitting at home. You understand what I mean? And they are creating more frustration for the youth. The system is not working, and there is no sympathy. And the worst of the matter, if you are wrong, when you accept you are wrong, then this is the beginning of the solution of your problem, because you will now look for solution. Right. You will ask for advice. With this government under this president, they will tell you everything is working, that they have fulfilled all their promise. The economy is working. They will give you some flimsy data, this and that, Q3, Q4, Nigerian economy is rising. If Nigerian economy is rising, you can see inflation coming down. Real inflation. It's not about somebody telling you that I will give license to my friends to import rice, sorghum, food items and so on. Now you went and you give them waiver. They may be getting money from the federal government as, let's say, as support. They import those things into the country. They have tax waiver. They come and sell it. They must make profit. Nigeria is losing the revenue because they are not paying. Because they are not paying tax. They are using government money to import. They are selling it at a exorbitant price because those rice they are importing, they are supposed to be selling it at 17 to 20,000 per bag.
We're going to take a quick break at this point. A lot to talk about because some of these problems are systemic in nature. Again, the complexity largely comes from the fact that the 2027 general election is just in front of us, and politicians have already started having that conversation. When we return from this break, we'll talk about what the ADC and indeed the entire opposition front intends to do in specifics by ensuring that President Bola Tinubu does not get a second shot as the presidency come 2027. Please stay with us. So, I'm going to ask you this, for example. I mean, your principal, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, it's a strong force to be reckoned with when it comes to opposition as it stands today. Of course, he's strongly affiliated with the ADC. What's more, there are those who are now saying that, well, His Excellency has a personal axe to grind with the President, Bola Tinubu. So it's even beyond if you like, advocacy for a better Nigeria, for good governance, that he wants to even up with the president because he has something personal to settle, like a personal score to settle with him. Let's talk about motive behind all of these coalition moves.
First of all, let me clear there. The former Vice President, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has no personal disagreement with Tinubu. Tinubu is, at a certain level, is his friend. At a certain level, is his godson. The relationship has spanned over years, and Tinubu is a principal beneficiary of Atiku's favor, and Atiku is not complaining. Tinubu is aware. He got Atiku's protection when he was governor. During the SCP, he has Atiku's support. During all this struggle life, Atiku has been supporting Tinubu in so many ways. Yes, Tinubu too is doing one or two things to help Atiku. That is normal. That is friendship. So that their relationship is still cordial when it comes to at the personal level. Atiku will not wish Tinubu dead. He will never wish him dead. You understand? But when it comes to Nigerian issue, to Atiku, Tinubu is a total failure and a total disappointment to their group because they are PDM members. He sees this as a disgrace to their entire group. That is the clarification, first of all. And the reason why people, that is the key factors why Atiku Abubakar, people like Obi are up against Tinubu in ADC. People want to know how we are going to win, first of all.
Right.
We are going to win this election, number one, because the people that are going to vote for the president in the next election are our key target. And we have an understanding with them because we are on the same page with the voters. We are not working with the looters. We don't care when you are a governor, when you are a senator. We don't care about that. We are not proud. We won't be proud to have a governor. We won't be proud. But in politics, you cannot say you reject a governor.
Right.
But because you are coming in, we will not celebrate you because you come in. But in politics, both the good, the bad, and the ugly has to be carried along. You understand? But you know governor that will come into ADC that will be celebrated. No any senator, serving senator that will come into ADC that will be celebrated.
Well, why is that the case?
The reason because the National Assembly refused to use their breaking power that they have to stop this misgovernance in the country. They have all the powers. The opposition has more numbers of legislators before now than the APC, the ruling party, both in the upper and the lower house. And yet, they went and connived with the ruling government and become rubber stamp. So why will you celebrate somebody that is a failure? Somebody you cannot raise his hand and be proud that he is with you. You understand? That is why, despite the fact that every day governors and senators and reps are decamping into APC, endorsing Tinubu, yet Tinubu voting advantage is always going down. It's always at disadvantage.
Is it going down really? Who's doing that rating?
If you are meeting people outside, or if you are always on the news or on the social media, people test water. Even the government people, they test water. They'll tell you, Obi, Atiku, and Tinubu, who are you going to vote in 2027?
Right.
You can see. Sometimes you see Obi leading with about 50%. Sometimes you see Atiku leading about 70%. But Tinubu is always down 15%, 10%.
So we have never had that poll that puts Tinubu ahead of the other contestants?
I've never seen it. But you can try it tomorrow. The Global TV should try it tomorrow. Organize a poll online. Now you know you can say even because most of Northerners are illiterate. People believe that Tinubu enemies are in the north.
But is that not true?
No, it's not true. Tinubu main enemies are in the south. They are about people. I grew up in Lagos. I've been in Lagos for 40 years. Since 1986, I've been in Lagos. I stayed in Lagos for 18 years before leaving Lagos to Abuja here. I have a lot of friends from Yanakwaja, Amodofin, Ikeja, Alabarago, Obalande, coming to our Okoyi, all these areas. There's nowhere we didn't see. We didn't stay. Apapa, Marine Road. You understand? These are all areas that we have friends and brothers.
Right.
I'm telling you, they are telling us that they cannot afford to operate businesses. Heavy tax, inflation rate has reduced the value of their capital base. If you have 100 million before the coming of Tinubu, let's say you have 4 shops, that you have 25 million. Today, the whole shop, out of the 4 shops, 3.5 is gone. The remaining one, what they have, the provision you have in your shop, if you value it, it's not up to 10 million of before 10 million you have 10 million value of good that you have before Tinubu coming into power. You can still market women crime. They cannot afford to buy Gary because their economy has collapsed. Most of them has 2 million as a capital base, 500,000, 200,000, and they are making profit and making money feeding their families, paying school fees.
Right.
With the inflation, that money was wiped away to zero. 500,000 cannot buy you anything. You cannot pay school fees anymore. So it's like you're back to zero. They over there that they rely on everything. They have to buy everything. They don't have place to manage to farm. We in the north, no matter how we have space even within our household to farm something to eat. They over in the south, they don't have that one. They have to go to the market. They have to buy from what we produce, the meager product we are able to produce from the north, and the one imported. All this one the price is so high that they cannot afford it. So they are the most severely punished by Tinubu than we in the north. That's why when you go to the marketplace and interview Yoruba women, Igbo women, Niger Delta, you can see they are causing the government that you shouldn't be there in the first place.
What political advantage would the ADC be bringing against the APC government in 2027?
That is because that is the reason why that's why we call it coalition. Coalition of ideas, not only of people. Coalition of ideas. You can see the progressive and vibrant ideas of Obi, who is like a socialist but a capitalist. He mixes socialism with capitalism. He is nurturing an idea of capitalism that will not affect the social livelihood of the poor man. You understand? Atiku is coming in with entrepreneurship idea, how to grow economy in such a way that is so open and most of the business is run by the business people. You understand? Nigerians, entrepreneurs, to be in the driving seat in moving the economy, not the government. The government is to produce, to provide enabling environment, support the businesses, for the businesses to thrive and make profit.
But there's a bit of challenge I would like you to address as we wrap up now. ADC, just like most of the other parties, has been referred to as a party, as a house that is divided against itself, and there's a context to that. They say that, first of all, the David Mark-led leadership has come to, quote-unquote, hijack the structures within the party, and we're seeing people like the gentleman Dumebi and the others rolling against your leadership as it stands today. That's number one. Number two is, for a political figure like former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, the conversation of whether he's still a member of the ADC or not is ongoing as we speak right now. The man has been on national television to establish that he's a bona fide member of the ADC. For anybody who's still in doubt, should go to David Mark and find out, and things like that. Is this not a case of he who must come to equity must come with clear hands?
You see, you are taking me back to Tinubu's style of leadership that muzzled the opposition because the government failed. Because the government have nothing to sell to the people to get vote. He want to contest alone.
So how is the Tinubu's issue a problem for the ADC?
I say, no, it's not about ADC. Tinubu, when he came into power, he tried to destabilize the first political party he went in to destabilize using Ganduje and Co. is NNPP because of Konkoso. He wanted to force Konkoso into APC. Konkoso resisted. He uses people through the court judiciary. Konkoso stand and fight. It takes him time, resources, and daring move for him to survive with his political party, NNPP. They now move to Labour Party. You can see how they dismantle Labour Party to make sure Obi doesn't have a balanced position. So
you're insinuating there's a faction of Labour Party loyal to President Tinubu?
It's not about loyalty to him. There are, as I'm telling you, they make sure they impoverish everybody because they are the only people source of income. They will give you what you don't expect to get. You don't have anything. You are a Labour Party chairman. A Labour Party chairman without a car. This is a party of comrades. You understand? But because of the hardship in the country, you have to take to school. You have to eat. You have to do burial. You have to do this and that. They now give you one Prado Jeep, brand new. They give your wife a 100 car, and they give you 100 million. Let's say as a token. Say, okay, we give you lawyer a son. Go to court. See love CC and there. Go to court and claim this and claim that for court. That's how they bought into the political parties. Use the judiciary to destabilize the political parties,
including your ADC.
Any other political party.
Including the ADC.
They come into ADC because when we maneuver like we are going to ADA, we are going to register ADA, they rush into announce with another ADA to create a conflict of dual identity. Then we turn around and say, okay, we are going to SDP. Immediately they rush into ADA and start impeaching the leadership, creating chaos and problem here and there. Finally, they saw us in ADC, they were surprised. So the issue of hijack doesn't come in. ADC willingly, they lobby, because all those political parties, they lobby for all coalition to come and join them.
So as it stands right now, ADC has come to stay. And there's no conflict
internally. There is no conflict. That issue of people still, somebody claiming, let me give you this very simple idea.
In 30 seconds.
Just 30 seconds. This so-called guy who is claiming that he's the deputy national chairman.
Right.
Number one, he contested for governorship of Gombe under the same ADC in the last election. That means when they did the congresses in 2022, he was never an exco of this party at any level. He was a candidate. After the election, he lost the election. There was a vacancy. They nominated him from Gombe and appointed him on acting capacity. When they appoint you as an acting in an office as acting, you don't have tenure. They appoint you today, they remove you tomorrow.
Right.
So you don't have a tenure, you cannot claim anything. That is one. Number two, if you are going to court to ask, you go to court and ask you what you were denied. He was never a chairman. he cannot ask for chairmanship in the court.
So when he got to court, his prayer was not valid.
Because he was claiming to be a deputy national chairman and said he insisted that he didn't resign. Okay, even if you say you didn't resign, you only go back to the court. You only go to the court and insist that you are still a deputy national chairman.
Right.
That is where you have a basis. And even then they will tell you, if you are there, how did you come there? You say, I was appointed.
You can't put something or nothing.
But when you are not a chairman,
right,
you are now going to the court to claim for chairmanship. Which chairman? Have you been a chairman before, even whether as an acting or as elected somebody?
Right. It will be seen as baseless.
Yes, baseless.
Incidentally, Honorable Umar Bello Jeda would like to say this is where we are going to end this conversation. But of course, your party is already in the ring as it stands right now. We are going to continue to have these conversations as events unfold. Yes, politically, but we appreciate you for these valuable insights
Thank you very much.
that we've come to share today. I've been